as well. All right, there you are. Hi, Corinne.
Hi. Reduce the volume. Getting some feedback.
All right, I'm gonna just put down the computer volume. Okay,
Okay.
tell me if it's sounding better.
Yes, sounds better.
All righty, great. All
Okay.
right, so we're live right now with Corinne, and today we're having our very first episode of the 10 out of 10 podcast. But we don't have enough of you on us yet. We're live on TikTok, we're live on Instagram, we're also live on Facebook and YouTube. So it's quite a bit of places. You just have to find the correct live. I'm not sure why we're getting a feedback. Corinne, maybe need to turn off something.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the feedback is coming from.
So hi guys. So we're live on quite a bit of platforms. I'm gonna tell you the format of the podcast for this evening. It is not a long podcast. We're just gonna have 10 questions from myself to Corinne. Then you guys will get a chance to ask Corinne 10 questions as well. Yeah? So 10 from me,
Good.
10 from you, and then she'll give you her handles as to where you could find her. And then that's a wrap. Okay? So you find a problem?
I think it's that one.
So if you're joining us, just share this podcast link. That's our first time
Um,
live. All right. I'm wondering if I have to switch from my phone to audio instead. You still getting the feedback or it's good?
no feedback now. We're all
All
good.
right. All right, great. So let's see if we could get them to share the live, Corinne. And then we're gonna start with the questions right away. Just tell us where you're joining us from. Those of you joining now,
Mhm.
tell us where you're joining us from.
Hi everyone. So I'm currently in Choiseul. So I have joined you guys in Choiseul.
All
uh,
right. Wow.
I'm still trying to share
Okay.
to
So you
some.
have the link for this one, right?
Yes. See if you can share to some people.
Let me see. Somebody said St. Lucia in the house. Hi, St. Lucia. Can you please share the live? Share. We're live with Corinne and we're talking everything here. So all the tea y'all want to know, all the tea, we're gonna be clocking that tea tonight. All right. Corinne, you sent me the link. It's for the life of me, I cannot see it. The link on TikTok.
So
Yes, definitely.
okay.
Hi, Sean's. Sean's just joined us. So Sean is in the house. Sean, I was just telling them we're live on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and also Facebook. We're all over. All right. So we have 10 questions for Corinne, right? Hi, Jordan. Jordan is present as well. We have 10 questions for Corinne. Then, Corinne, you guys gonna have your questions, so I'm gonna take 10 from you guys as well. And then afterwards, she's gonna share her handles with you guys in terms of where you could find her, etc. All right, so I'm just gonna check to see if I get the link to share.
Okay, 1 second. You shift the laptop a little.
All right. So since this is recorded, we're gonna get this. A lot of persons who missed this episode will be able to get it afterwards, um, on the replays. Okay.
I don't want it to. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's see then. All right. Corinne, I think we're 10 minutes in, so we're gonna just start once you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Yep.
So my very first question is, can you tell us your name, where you from, for those of them just joining us now, and then we're gonna go into the hair questions right after.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Corinne. I'm from Choiseul, Saint Lucia. And
Mhm.
today we'll just be speaking on everything natural hair and why I began my natural hair journey.
All right. So, what got you started with? Firstly, let's talk about content creation, because that's where I was able to see you. What got you started with doing content on your hair specifically,
Well,
and
I
why?
actually wanted to start with hair content for quite some time now, and a lot of people were not aware.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of the limitations were my devices at the time. So this is what hindered me from starting at first. But as time went by, I was able to get my recording equipment, and which is why I'm here.
Okay. All right. So, why hair? Because there's so many different types of content you could have done. Why hair? Why did you choose hair content?
Funny thing, many people ask me about my natural hair, what I use. It's
Mm-hmm.
growing so nicely. I get so many questions about products and what styles I incorporate into my routine, how
Mm-hmm.
often I wash, and I get tons of questions. So I just decided it would have been a good thing to start off with making content, especially geared towards natural hair care.
All right. So, can you tell us, at what point did you realize and say, like, okay, people are actually watching me when it comes to putting up content on TikTok specifically? I'm not sure if you're on the other pages, but TikTok.
Well, I started posting on TikTok last year, September. And there was a video I recorded outside washing my hair, and I used the sound, "It's my natural hair for me."
Mm-hmm.
And not too long after I posted, I saw the views went up, and I was like, okay, okay, I'm liking this. And it was actually one of the creators from Grenada, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw she posted a few videos of her washing her hair outside, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my god, yes, I need to start doing this. So she was actually the one who inspired me to do wash days outside and actually record it.
Okay, nice. All right. What what has been the most unexpected moment in your journey so far, good or bad, in terms of creating content on hair? What has been the most unexpected moment in your journey?
The most unexpected thing I would say is that nobody tells you about space and how to store your videos, what to transfer them on. So I think that would be the hardest thing for me, because I'm still trying to adjust on how to edit and store my videos effectively so that I can have more space for recording. So that's the only bad thing. Good thing, I get a lot of questions, I get a lot of feedback from the videos that I post. And I'm actually able to encourage more persons to go natural along my journey. So that's the good part of it.
All right. So, how long have you been natural? Since you said you get a lot of questions on the journey, is it something that you've always been natural, or you cut your hair after having processing?
Yeah, I haven't always been natural. A few years ago, I was relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I did my first big chop when I was in secondary school, People saw how quickly my hair grew, and immediately I got so many questions from that time.
Mhm.
I did a second big chop about 3 years ago, and many people were surprised. They never
Why was
expected.
that?
I I believe I was just tired of all the hair at the time.
Okay, okay.
I just wanted a new look. So
Mhm,
I chopped it all off. I added color. Many people would have seen that.
mhm.
And I let it grow. I just let it do its thing.
Okay, nice. Um, so it's just growing on its own. We'll talk about what you're using, what
Mhm.
methods you're using, because that's questions for lower down.
Yeah.
If you have any question for Corinne, put it in the chat right away so that we could come to it afterwards. How do you balance, and we're still talking about content creation, right, guys?
Mhm.
So how do you balance trend versus authenticity? Do you follow the algorithm or just your gut?
Well, a lot of the times I follow trends and I've gotten familiar with the algorithms. Many people don't know about creator search insights. I typically go through the search engines to find out what people are looking for in terms of content. And sometimes I just record random videos I think people would like, yeah. So sometimes it all depends on how I'm feeling or what type of video I record at the time. Hey, I'm your audio cut out. I'm not able to hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear now.
Right. So with hair, right? A lot of people have different things they like in hair. Some people like volume, some people like
Mm-hmm.
length, some people just like to know their hair is healthy. What is it specifically when it comes to hair for you?
My specific goal, it changes. To be really honest, I think lengthwise, I'm aiming for waist length. And as for fitness, I generally have thick hair, so I don't have any goal in terms of volume because I know I have that. Um, but otherwise, waist length for me.
So basically you have a goal in terms of weight, the length you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the question. How do you feel you come to that length, and what space of time are you looking to get to that length of hair?
Well, I'm looking to get to that length, believe it or not, before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I ensure that I use protective styles like these. I ensure that I wash my hair every 2 to 3 weeks, or sometimes every week, depending on if I do my colored puffs. So
Okay.
different hairstyles would automatically change how I wash my hair. So my wash days can be really random sometimes.
Okay. All right. So you say by the end of the year, right? You heard me, right? By the end of
Yeah,
the year.
yes.
Okay.
That's
Um, you've influenced so many people to embrace their natural hair. Was that intentional or something that just happened by you going ahead and do your videos?
It was actually because I know a lot of persons they don't embrace their natural hair. I know a lot of persons use wigs, weaves, and people are still relaxed surprisingly. So it was intentional on what I did with the content and trying to influence persons to grow their natural hair out because I mean natural beauty is at its finest with your hair. So yeah, it was intentional for me.
All right. Um, I have about two more questions, but before I go to my questions, let's engage the audience. I'm gonna look at feedback. To see if they have any questions for you, right? So Corinne is here with me. She's a natural hair influencer on TikTok. So you could go ahead and follow her. If you have any question for Corinne, you could go ahead and send it in the chat right now. Re her hair. her content creation journey. She's a natural hair influencer right here in St. Lucia, and she just told me she's from Roselle. Um, so she makes these videos with washing her hair, especially the popular ones are the one where she's washing her hair outside, and just the nature videos with the hair. Any questions for Corinne? Let us know in the chat. So we have a question, Corinne, from Barbie. She said, "Is clove water good for the hair?"
Yes,
What do you think about that?
I do use clove water for my natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
And cloves has a tons of benefits in terms of being antimicrobial and so many other benefits. And it does actually help with growth.
Yeah. So on my end, I would agree with that as well. Cloves, well, we do have a clove spray on our line, and it's
Mhm.
because it worked. I
Yeah.
always tell people that story of after I gave birth to my daughter, my edges were not edges anymore. And after doing the clove and rosemary spray, that changed it totally. We
And these
have
are
another
the top.
question. Pardon?
Oh, so I was
Go
saying these
ahead.
are the top two herbs as well, clove and
Mhm.
rosemary.
Right, rosemary, clove, because what they do, you could feel, and also peppermint is another one that is
Yeah.
very, very good, in terms of the scalp, and that's a whole different topic that we're gonna get to in another podcast about the scalp health. V ask, how often should one wash their hair?
Well, it all depends. Sometimes if you have a scalp condition, you may have to wash your hair more frequently than others. But for me, I tend to do it between every 1 to 3 weeks. So it
Mm-hmm.
would depend on how I style my hair. If I use a lot of gel or if I have my temporary color. So just various things would change the frequency of my wash day. So it's not always the same.
All right. Similarly, I normally recommend for persons to wash their hair once, twice a month. So every 2 weeks, you try to wash your hair. Also, if you're using more gels and stuff like
Yeah,
that means more buildup. Then you would have to give your hair more washing because when you use the gels and those thick products on your hair, it is actually
in
clogging the
your
scalp.
pores. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have another question, and that's from Sean. She said, "What's your opinion on tight hairstyles being protective styles, even though
hmm
you're not playing in your hair a lot?"
Well, a protective style should never be tight. That's one thing I always try to tell people. It's as long as it's tight, take it out. Once it's pulling on your hair, it's literally pulling out your entire hair follicle, and that
Mhm.
can cause some serious damage. So you should, especially if you're using elastics, you should ensure that it is not too tight and not too slack, so just in between. um, and all that could hinder your growth as well. So a lot of persons think they're actually protective styling and they're not, when majority of the times the tight styles are pulling on their edges, pulling on their hair, and then they're complaining about growth. So tight styles are a no-go.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. But we do have another question. Jordan says, "Which gel do you recommend to really slick down your natural hair?"
As for gel, I have a
Mm,
mixture.
tell us about it.
Sometimes I use the Eco Styler with
Mhm,
the Gorilla Snot, and I
mhm,
use the freeze spray, the got to be.
mhm.
Um, I also tried the extreme. Is it the
Yeah.
extreme? Yeah, the extreme one. But sometimes I tend to just mix all of my gels just to make something with extreme hold. But a lot of the times it's not really the gel; it's how you tie down your hair to achieve the slick style. Because for me, when I do my stick ponytail,
Mhm.
immediately after I comb it down, I tie it with a durag, which helps the hair lay flat. So I don't necessarily use a lot of gel or tons of gel. Sometimes I slick my hair down without gel, and it's all about how you tie it.
That's true. That's true. I do use the satin head wraps
Mm-hmm.
after
Yeah.
I do the one plait. So like this one plait, when I came home, since I know I had to do the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I left it on and I just put the satin head wrap on it. Hi, baby. My daughter is here. So next question. Hello, is aloe gel water? Hello, is aloe gel water good for the hair? And what does it help with?
I didn't get the
You heard
last.
that?
I didn't get the last part.
Is aloe gel slash water good for the hair? And what does it help with? That's the question.
Well, it does help with the hair. As for all the specifics, I don't know all the specific of mine right now, but you
Mhm.
can use it for detangling and for your hair masks. I know some persons use the aloe vera gel with their essential oils, and they use it as their pre-poo treatments. So all of
Mhm.
the natural herbs and plants do have a lot of benefits, and just a simple search could help you find out what exactly the herbs do to your hair. So we have so much technology at our disposal, and it's just a
Mhm.
search. So a lot of the herbs actually really help with natural hair growth.
All right, we have another question. Also, that's from Sean's. Do you believe dirty hair grows? Like
I
when they
used to
say
think
really
I used
wash
to
their
think
hair.
that. I honestly used to think a few years ago that dirty hair grows.
Mhm.
And then I learned the importance of a clean scalp. So dirty hair doesn't necessarily grow. All hair grows, by the way. And I know that many people would think that, oh, my hair not growing. It's all about how you detangle and how you style in between your wash days that would actually help you retain length. But dirty hair doesn't necessarily mean hair growth. So you must actually cleanse your scalp.
All right, we have a question from Instagram. It says, "What is your hair type, Corinne?"
I believe my hair type is maybe 3C, 4A. Maybe somebody else would have a different opinion on what it is. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I have a question on my end. What
Okay,
product
go ahead.
do you use, uh, or any hair oils? In terms
Mhm.
of product, I typically make my own hair butters and my infused hair oils. So this is what I use at the moment.
Mhm. All right, we have another question here. Well, she did say she washed her hair twice a month. So the next
What?
question is tips for length retention.
Okay, so for length retention, what I swear by my plaits. I always have my hair in
Mhm.
plaits, and usually I moisturize every other day. Um, Water is your best friend as a natural, and for me, I use shea butter based products. As I said earlier, I make my own hair butter and my hair oil. So these are the things that I use to ensure that I grow and retain length.
Okay, you have another question, Corinne. You have quite a bit of questions here. Do you have any other hair care secrets? Something you do that others may not do? And that's from Kaylin, I think.
Well, something
Not sure
I
if I'm
do that
Kaylani.
others may not do. Go ahead.
You still getting the feedback, guys?
I should put the. Are you still getting feedback?
Let us know if you're still getting the feedback. I'm not sure why though. I don't have anything on. Corinne, you getting enough feedback?
Okay, so they said no, there's no feedback.
Okay.
What was the
All right.
question?
So
After
let's
you
go with.
done any question, there is another question on my end. So go ahead.
Okay. So there was sorry, um there was another question here that I just asked about the hair care secrets, something you do that others may not be doing.
Oh yes, I was about to say a lot of the things that I may be doing that other persons might not be doing involves patience. And I've realized that many people don't have the patience to deal with their hair, which is why their hair breaks off. So typically, I would detangle from my ends going up. People don't do that. People don't do that. So that is one thing I have learned about people, and they don't moisturize their hair at all. So these are the two things that people don't do that I actually do. And I always let them know that moisture is important as well as how you
Mhm.
detangle. Because overall, detangling your hair is what actually helps you retain the length.
Okay. Another question. Um, what do you use to moisturize your hair? Because you did speak about moisturizing your hair.
Yes, so I use my sometimes my clove water in my spray bottle or sometimes conditioner, and I also use the hair butter. So typically I will just spray my hair along the length and just use the butter like this, and I'm all good.
Mhm.
That's how I moisturize.
Okay. Somebody
Somebody
said hi.
said, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead with your question. Yeah, go ahead
Okay.
with yours.
Somebody said, if they asked if I had a daily maintenance routine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Honestly, I really don't, because sometimes, well, before hopping on the live, my hair was dry for the past few days, so I honestly cannot be a hypocrite. So, I honestly don't have a daily maintenance routine. I don't usually follow a specific routine. I just know what works best for me. And for anyone's natural hair care journey, they should, of course, do what works best for them. Because
All
sometimes
right.
whatever works best for me would not work for the other person.
Okay. We have another question that says, what is the best hair treatment for thinning hair or hair breakage?
Well, depending on the issue, sometimes it might be because of your diet or because of a lack of protein in your hair. So it all depends.
All right. Nats ask. I think we passed the 10 questions already, guys. Anyways, we're gonna be wrapping up in a bit. Is it better to refrigerate clove slash rosemary spray or keep it at room temperature? What is your take on that, Corinne?
I tend to store a lot of my herb water in the fridge most times. Sometimes I actually forget to take it out or put it in the fridge. So just to preserve the freshness, it would be best to store in the fridge.
Okay. You have another question before I go to my last two questions. What hair oil do you use?
Okay, so I make my own hair oil with coconut oil as the base. I
Mhm.
use different herbs such as clove, rosemary. Um, I saw some information about bringraj and all sorts of Indian herbs. I try to incorporate in that as well.
Mhm.
So I just use the powders and infuse it in the oil, and this is what I use.
Ayurvedic powders.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we have reached the point where we supposed to be wrapping up. I have two more questions for you
Okay. I have
as
two
it
more
relates.
questions on my end. So after I'll
So
just
go with that. No, go with that first, and then I'll give mine.
Okay. So someone asked if I was considering selling my butters and oils. Yes, actually, I
Mm-hmm.
am working on that as we speak. Another question said, how long am I growing my natural hair for? It's been about 3 years.
Okay. All right. So you just said about considering to sell your butters and oils.
Hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about business side of brand deals and hair sales. What are your goals to bring this hair content further?
Hmm. Well, one of the major companies that I would like to work with is Garnier. I do use their shampoos and conditioners like
Mm-hmm.
clockwork.
Okay.
So it would be really nice if I got a partnership with them. As for my hair butter and hair oils,
Mm-hmm.
um, I am working on it.
Okay.
So
So you
my
cannot give them a time frame yet, but it's something they should look out for.
yes, so it is something that you guys should look out for.
Okay. Um, so basically, final question, what's next for you generally? Um, in terms of hair content, what can we look out for? Because we love the videos. What should we look out for when it comes to Korean and your hair videos?
More wash days outside, just more wash days outside, and more,
So do
hopefully,
you
more
find
styling videos
content
as
is
well.
selling more?
Say that
Do you
again.
find that do you find that content is pushing more in terms of your engagement on TikTok?
It is actually because when you look at the stats, or if anyone
Mm,
goes through my page, you would see that the videos that I record outside washing my hair would perform way better than any other
mhm.
video that I post. So it does actually do better than the rest.
Right. Okay. So can you tell us your handles? Can you give us your
Um,
handles?
so my handle